You can't tell how someone truly feels just by looking at them or what they share online. To the outside world, our lives may look perfect even if in reality they aren't. I'm always worrying about my grades. I tend to overthink at times and my thoughts swarm around my head, sometimes keeping me up all night, and some days it's just too much and I feel like I'm lost in space. One time when I did badly on one of my tests, I would worry about it all day. I would be worried that I would make my parents disappointed, even if it wasn't my intention to. I would worry and worry till I wouldn't be able to focus in class. I overthink, what would my parents say? Would I be able to go to college because of this bad grade? What would happen to my dream job? What would my future be? When I sat down at the dinner table at 7 p.m., my parents, like usual, asked how school went. Now, I really wanted to tell them about my grade, but I was still scared and anxious. But then, of course, I couldn't keep it to myself for the rest of my life. So, then I built up the courage to say to them. Their reactions weren't the best. It made me sad. I shed a tear knowing my parents would scold me. Then my mom responded, just like physical health, we all have mental health. It's our feelings, our thinking, our emotions, and our moods. She then said that being angry, stressed, or sad is a normal part of life, just as how normal it is being happy, confident, or carefree sometimes. We all have positive and negative emotions that come and go based on what's happening around us. These are everyday feelings. Good mental health means experiencing negative emotions. It's not always about being happy. There are different types of mental health illness or issues. Examples are mood disorders, such as depression or bipolar disorder, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, and much more. Let us talk about depression. Depression is a constant feeling of sadness and loss of interest, which stops you from doing your normal activities. Causes of depression are abuse, emotional, sexual, or physical, death or loss, losing a loved one, bullying, betrayal of people of whom you've trusted, family problems, traumatic events, low self-esteem, heartbreak, and etc. Here is something that people don't understand. Depression isn't a trend. Just because you see it all over TikTok or Instagram, it doesn't connect to being a trend. People post themselves crying, not because they want attention nor because they want pity. They are stepping out of their comfort zone and are spreading awareness on how serious depression is and why it shouldn't be taken as a joke. People post themselves crying or showing their mental breakdowns on social media, not because it's a so-called trend, but because that is how they cope. People have different ways on how to cope. You can't judge someone for their own way. Another way some people with depression do to cope is self-harm. Self-harm includes cutting, burning, eating too much or too little, starving, and many more. Depression can lead to self-harm, and when it's all too much for the person, it could lead to suicide. Now here, depression isn't about being lazy, weak, or having the inability to suck it up. Depression is a complicated illness. You can't just snap out of it. Some people just don't understand, and some probably never will. But I want you to know as a human being that not everything you see is what's really happening. Some people are so good at hiding their true feelings that everyone thinks they're just fine. You never know how much you've hurted someone until they eventually just give up and disappear. Everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Always be kind because you never know what's gonna happen. It takes nothing to be kind. So please, be kind. And this is where this video ends. I would like to leave this video with a last note. It's okay to feel sad, down, upset, or mad. It is normal, and it's what makes us human. After all, mental health is something we all have. And a reminder that you should eat that meal and drink that glass of water because you deserve it. That's all for this video. I hope you learned something and have a nice day.